Core field stabilized. Want to turn up the heat. We gotta move.
It is April 4th, 2013, and this is State of the Game. I'm your host, JP McDaniel. Let's try this again. We've got Artosis, we've got Cats, and what we're going to do is be bringing people on from Skype who want to talk about the WCS, since that is obviously the news of the week. Dan, what have you been up to? Cats, what have you been up to? Let's keep this brief so we can just talk about WCS, obviously.
All right. Well, been going to like the press conference and I haven't had much time to play in the last few days. Been doing like meetings and stuff, and finally Code S started, so that's what I've been doing.
There you go. Cats, what's up with you?
Been playing a lot, and since I guess we're on the topic of WCS, we've been planning or trying to plan around it. So hopefully, like, we're pretty busy at Root looking if we can open a team house or something like that. And yeah, try to win some WCSNA.
Nice. Well, I'm very interested to see what a team like Root is doing with this announcement. But let's kind of talk about the announcement itself before we get into something like that. So Tuesday night at, I think it was 10 Eastern around here. I don't know what time it was over in Korea. Blizzard finally unveiled the World Championship Series for 2013. Just like the Cliff Notes, it's some huge contracts formed from this. It's 1.6 million, I believe, prize pool for the WCS 2013 league. GOM TV and OGN now are working together. MLG's in on the partnership as well as IEM, which we're obviously going to be talking about what kind of happens with NASL and DreamHack now moving forward. Huge global league now with a awesome structure to it. Blizzard kind of put out an infograph. I'll bring that up here on the stream real quick. But a lot of stuff coming out of this. There was almost, I was talking to Cats about this earlier. There was actually almost too much stuff. It took a long time for me to become like really well versed in everything 2013 WCS. So there's obviously three regions: Korea, America, Europe. One of the factors that I wanted to bring Moonglade on, which unfortunately you couldn't make the show, was kind of what happens to the C region, which I guess is probably a good place to start off with here. Do you think that is it a big impact that that C doesn't have a WCS this year?
Well, you know, obviously that sucks for them, but like, I guess they're just going to have to play in the North American one. You know, that seems like that's the case, and they play on that server a lot already, anyways, right?
Yeah, you don't think they would play in the Korean one? Yeah, I changed the overlay, Cats.
No.
I noticed that it was messed up.
No, I don't think anyone's going to join the Korean one except the Koreans.
Just because
too
it's so
man.
hard. Yeah, that was actually one of the things that they talked about, is that players are able to say where they want to play in at the start of the year, but once they declare where they're playing, they're unable to change. So I guess with everyone kind of saying Korea is going to be the hardest, do you think Koreans are going to play in NA? Because you can do it online. That was something that was
Some
stated.
will. Yeah, some will. But I think the vast majority of the top ones are not going to. I think because they're on Korean teams. Any Korean on a Korean team has Korean sponsors, and so if they're a popular player, they have to play in Korea to help keep those sponsors and whatnot. So it's not like you're going to see Flash play in NA or something like that, you know?
Right. Thank God. I guess a lot of NAs are proud of that. Cats, what do you think about the way regions are working and how they're kind of locking in players after they choose where they want to play?
Well, I think it's great, obviously. I brought this up even like a couple state of the games ago, where I said that we need
couple states of the game ago.
couple states of the games
Couple states
ago.
ago, you know.
And yeah, I brought it up like 3 years ago. You know, like the fact that we need regional leagues and whatnot. So I feel like regional log is a good start for that. You know, to further develop the scenes. Like I was saying, Root is looking to start our own team house, because now there's a lot of money to be won on this side of the world, and we realistically, you know, have pretty good chances at it. So it makes sense for us to market more on this side of the world. We potentially can get more sponsors, more visibility, and more money will justify more practice for the players and to commit more to the game. So I think it's great, and it will develop DNA scene and the European scene a lot more. And potentially, a few years down the line, we can start keeping up with Korea a little bit better.
So then, is your goal basically are you looking at any other region, or is it primarily going to be America, where you guys want to play, Cats?
Well, we're all in North America pretty much, except for
Right.
Sage and Yu-Gi-Oh. Sage will probably be moving to NA to play in this, but he will try to play in the Code qualifiers. I think Yu-Gi-Oh is most likely going to stay in Korea, but yeah, we'll see. Sage has military service as well, but yeah, we're all playing NA for the most part. That's where we are.
Dan, do you know anything about the prize breakdown of have they said anything like that? Because I know it's
I don't think
1.6 overall, but I don't think there's an actual prize breakdown for each regional.
Yeah, I don't think that they released what the prize breakdown is yet. And to be honest, I'm not even sure what it is. No one's really told me. So
Yeah.
I do know that if you're like consistently doing well, you're going to be able to make a living off prize money. If you're like
Really?
really a top end player, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I've heard basically.
Because when I first heard about this, and it's one of the things that I was kind of asking people about it all the past week or so, was that, the obvious parallel here is the LCS that Riot has, right? And they have all of their teams that are on what is it? I think it's 24 teams that are in the LCS. They're all sponsored. Every single player is earning a salary for being there. And a lot of people are saying that Blizzard's kind of doing it the same way, except that if you get to the regional tier, that's when you actually start making money and start making a salary. And that hopefully, if you qualify into that, you gain already money just for making it there, right? So that's kind of where it comes in, but it's not really a salary per se.
Yeah, I guess that's like a fair analysis. I think like if you get far enough, it's kind of like GSL does a very similar thing. If you're in Code S, you're already making money. Like if you hit the round of 32, you've already made a decent amount of money, and if you stay in it, you make more and more. And I guess that's not really going to change that much. Maybe that amount of money is going to go up. Maybe there's more for the middle level. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely going to help out the pro gamers in each region. Like you're actually going to be able to live, and because for instance, I'm sure Root's very excited about that because
Oh, absolutely.
right now, like what prize money do you really win? There's only a few tournaments, and the Koreans come over and win them, and then you're like kind of screwed. But if you can just get a bunch of your players into a reasonable level, if they're good enough to like hit a certain level, not only is that going to help you get sponsors as always it would, but they're going to be making enough money that there isn't a lot of stress or as much stress on the team to help them out in that way, I guess. So,
Friend of the show and obviously a very well-known observer, Adabisi, just tweeted at me a tweet, or just messaged me on Skype, a tweet from Adam Apicella. It says, I think after you guys on Live on 3 see the details and prizes associated with each region, your stance on who moves will change. So is it not going to be like evenly split across all the regions according to that tweet? Is that what we should be led to believe?
well, the GSL has always given out the most prize money, so I wouldn't be
okay.
surprised if you still win more in Korea, and that would actually make a
would
lot
make a
of
lot of
sense
sense, yeah.
because
Yeah.
it would keep more Koreans over here, and it would keep, the GSL is the most important league that we have because it's like just constant, and the production's really high, and it has the best games. So
Yeah.
it's important to like keep that intact. So I would not be surprised
And
if
the
there's just
players
simply
are the
more-
best. I mean,
and
they deserve.
therefore they deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you win GSL, you don't deserve to make the same amount as the guy that wins the North American one. You deserve to make more, and
Absolutely.
that's just a fact. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he's talking about. Like I expect that GSL still will want to have the biggest prizes and stuff.
Yep. Polt might be upset about that though.
He's always welcome to come play GSL again. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
So I haven't read this interview with PC Gamer that Morhaime did, but apparently he said that the prize is going to be equal in all regions. I'll try to find that exact quote here in PC Gamer.
well,
so
that
you
might
can
be
have
like
that.
a direct WCS prize, though, right? Like there might be a certain amount that WCS specifically gives you, but
Oh,
um,
is that? like I guess the leagues are probably pumping
might
in
be
their
like
only money and or their own money into the prize for their regionals, huh?
I would imagine that that's happening. Like, how do you get all these people to run tournaments
Yeah.
if you're not helping them out financially?
That's a good
I would
point.
imagine that that's what's going. I don't know. This is actually me just guessing because I haven't actually talked to anyone about this, but that's my guess on that. Like,
So-
I would be really truly surprised if like anyone in North America makes as much as the people who win GSL and OSL this year. You know, that would like truly surprise me, and I think that nobody would be happy with that aside from the person who won NA.
Here's the question though. Let's say MLG is going to be running the WCS for North America, right?
Right.
Does that then mean that no Koreans that are not signed to the NA region are able to come to MLG?
I'm sorry, repeat that. I was reading through the PC.
What? Yeah, it's no. Say that again.
Okay, so MLG is hosting the WCS NA.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that mean that no Koreans competing or no Koreans that are already locked onto the Korean region are allowed to come and compete at MLG?
No, they made an announcement, and the thing is, they don't necessarily have to have the actual MLG live events that they always have had be WCS, as far as I understand. Like, and I saw that someone from MLG said that well, if you qualify for this, still you come over and there's going to be some sort of something set up for those players so that there's still like draw and big matches like. You know,
Right.
you don't want to throw
Right.
away having a Flash vs. Life or something. Like, you can still do that. So,
So it will probably be more of a thing like we saw with WCS NA, where where they hosted WCS NA and then they had MLG.
yeah, I'm guessing that that's going to be the case because I can't imagine MLG just being like, all right, we're never going to have those great Koreans again. You know, that's.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that someone posted that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I read that.
So I guess now let's go ahead and bring on, just so everyone's up to the same page here. Moonglade actually just contacted me. He got back from his fishing trip, so he'll be coming on the show here in a
Sick.
second. But I did promise Caldor that he could come on since he was one of the guys that messaged, the only person that messaged me on Skype. So let's bring Sir Thomas Killian into the call here. Katz, you're gonna have to be the one that actually
Right.
calls him. He should be in there. You can just add to call.
Katz is the official State of the Game secretary.
He is.
Yeah, I don't see him.
Patch him in, Katz.
Patch him in, Katz.
Jesus. What? Patch?
How do you don't have him on the, why can't I, there you go. Now is it there?
Nah.
All right, secretary, you're fired. Here, I don't want
Do it
to,
yourself. Wait.
here, let me just go to
Yeah, I
this.
don't see him at
Let
all.
me go to the splash screen. I'll just do this. Add to call. Okay, there you go, Katz.
Like I don't see the option to.
There you go. Now you can call him.
There it is.
We'll get him on real
Calling.
quick. He gets to be our Tosis for a couple of minutes.
Okay. I'm
Caldor?
down.
Caldor. Oh, I think his mic's
Hey.
muted. Oh, there you go. What's going on, man?
Not too much. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. We're having fun with the technical issues of Skype.
Yeah. So,
I think your camera's just going to be you spinning here in a circle, so that's really awesome. But what's your take on all this WCS stuff, man?
well, I listened to what you guys said, and I actually completely agree. I love how it's going down, and it will definitely help to improve the EU and NA scene quite a bit. The only thing that was a little bit sad was what MC was basically writing, where he was talking about all the players that are now currently in Code B or in Code A that don't get a shot at who participated in the first WCS at all.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Has Blizzard said anything regarding that, or
I mean,
GSL
they're-
said anything?
I asked them about it, and the problem is that for them, that was basically more of an issue that you can't make everyone happy, and it's pretty sad that it's a little bit more difficult for the Koreans to actually participate right now. Think about the LJM players that will now, for example, Seed, who's currently in Code B. So even if he qualifies now for Code A, he can't participate in the first season. Then he has to make it through Code A into Code S, so he can't participate in the second WCS season. So for all those guys who are currently not even in Code A, the first time where they could do something is in the last season. And all the current rankings are based on Wings of Liberty, which is, of course, like a huge indicator. But at the same time, it's for them the argument, hey, this is Heart of the Swarm. We've been doing really well in this tournament already, or in this add-on, but we
Right.
can't even participate in the biggest tournament of the world until the end of the year. if we make it at all. Yes. And Blizzard has been saying that for them that was definitely an issue, but when the new system comes in and starts, there are a few things that they just can't solve.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that has to smooth
It's
out
true.
over time, I guess.
It's
Well-
like a casualty of just, it has to be like a rough start just because they're using the already existing GSL and OSL formats. So I think that's probably unavoidable, and it sucks for them. Like, I feel quite bad for them, but, you know, that's, they aren't qualified for the league already. So it's like as if, you know, the qualifiers already happened, just no one knew. It
it's
sucks.
kinda shitty. But I mean, there's
I
nothing you
don't
can
think
do.
there's a clean way to
So
start.
people that are going to be qualifying to Code 8, like, because the qualifiers, what, like this week or next week, right? On the
Next
Next
week,
week.
on the 10th.
So they don't get a chance of being in WCS at all?
Well, don't they gain some points going through the Challenger League or whatever we're calling it now?
Have they released where points and how many points are coming from in each place? I don't think they have.
They haven't yet. But like, I could see them having like Code A give you some amount of points, so you're at least working towards something, you know?
Yeah,
that would
that's
only make
definitely true.
sense. So
Yeah.
you can't jump from Code A into Code S this season?
No, it takes the season. Like,
So you do it in the up
Code
and down
S is
matches
already
at
going
the
on.
end. Yeah.
Ah, right,
Like,
right.
we already have the Code S players, so
So
like,
basically, Code A
it's
starts now.
stifled a bit.
Code A starts as soon as the first round of Code S is done. So all the guys who now qualify through the Code A qualifier next week will then be in Code A and therefore can't finish. I think you have to finish top 5. The top 5 gets advanced to the season final, right? And so they can't participate. They have to wait for the next season. Then they have to make it first of all in Code S, and then they can participate.
Well,
Well, but do we know that they're not going to gain points for Code A?
We don't know that, but the graphics that they released actually says that the top 5 of each region in Korea, that would be Code S, the top 5 of Code S will then advance to the season final. In the first season, it's apparently going to be 6 for Korea, because, well, there's one regional final in Korea, one regional final in NA, and one in AU, and wherever region the season final is being held, they get an additional player, from what I understand. So
Yeah.
for Korea, that would be 6 at some point, but it is players from Code S and not from Code A.
okay.
Yeah, of course, because they're actually up at the top. But you know, the thing is that whoever does the best in Code S has shown that they're the best for this time period. Yeah, they qualified through Wings of Liberty, but that's always going to be a dirty transition. You know, that's just
Yeah,
it's like, got to
it's
start
as you said.
somewhere.
It's a transition thing, and you have to start at some point, and there are features, and they will smooth them out over time, but I feel the big issue was really just bringing the whole baby on the road.
Slasher saying that as far as he knows, you get points for Challenger, which is kind of their tier system that they've introduced. But I don't
That's
know what.
Code A, right?
I
That's-
think Challenger's
that's
Code
Code
A.
A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that's
Uh,
something, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that at least builds you up. Like, let's say you
It
have
does. Yeah.
2 seasons that you do well in Code A, like maybe you get to the 3rd round, but then you don't make it into Code S, and then the next season you do reasonably well in Code S, then suddenly you're not completely screwed. You know, you did a good job. So
Yeah.
True. Caldor, have you been hearing any other kind of the Korean netizens? What have they been saying about any other things like MCs is saying that I guess is what I'm trying to hit on?
Well, there were a lot of tweets that were translated. I think there was a thread on Team Liquid that dealt with it, and it was kind of funny to see how the Koreans reacted to it. And they talked about mind gaming each other, because Paul was basically really happy that he's now currently in an A. And then a few of them said, like, maybe we should go to an A2. And he's like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. And Linux just said something around the lines that the genius from Seoul University is trying to master game them all right now. So they're just joking a lot and thinking about what are they going to do now.
Have you heard of
but the
any
thing is,
Koreans that want to come over, by the way, to play in the North American, Caldor?
I only talked to a few so far, and most of them were from LGIM, like Squirtle and a few others, and they didn't have any plans to just go. I feel
Makes
the
sense.
players that will most likely head over are either B-teamers that get a shot right now, or players who are already on an international team.
the thing is, if you do that, you can't even play like Code B qualifiers and stuff, which is really that's
That's a
like
good
where
call,
you become
yeah.
a legitimate pro. So, you know what is actually more worrisome than top pros switching over to NA is like the college students and stuff, like the level right below pro gamer in Korea, that they're like, well, I'm not going to make it in Code S. I know I'm not that good, but at the same time, I'm as good or better than the NA scene. You know, there's like such a thick level of Koreans here that are
Are
like
you
just insanely
sure?
good.
Are you sure about that? That if they try to qualify for code A, they
They
won't
said that
You can play
They
online
said
though,
that,
Dan. Can you not? You could play
you
online.
can play
No.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the like college students and stuff like that are really good but aren't pros. But
Right.
they said they're going to be really lenient this time because everyone's got to figure everything out. But yeah, so I guess you probably could try to qualify and still do NA is my guess. Like
As
I
far
think they're
as I
going to
know.
allow a switch.
As far
Yeah,
as I
this-
know, like Sage doesn't know much more than any of us, but he's planning to play on the Code A qualifier, and he's planning to then, move to the US when we open the house and play in the.
Yeah, from what I understand, they're letting one switch happen this year. But like for instance, next year, you just choose and that's it. And then you
Right,
can't
right.
like do qualifiers, as far as I understand, unless
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
unless you're like, all right, I'm locking myself into Korea for the year.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, think about it. It makes a lot of sense. The Code A qualifier is in about 5 days. So for the Koreans now to make the immediate decision, yes, I'm going to move to the US or make my choice. So them being a little bit more flexible in the
They-
first season right now and allowing them
they
to make the
decided,
change
like-
makes sense.
all the Korean pros decided last week. Like
Oh,
there
where
was
they
a
were gonna
meeting
play.
where they learned about all this, and everyone already decided and like put it in for Korea. Well, the Korean.
Are we
pros,
actually 100% sure that
Yeah,
that's true? Because
I don't think
really?
that's true.
Yeah, me neither. Because
I'm-
I talked to quite
I
a few of
think
them,
it's-
and what I heard, they didn't sound like they already knew what they would do.
Maybe they gave them like a end date or something, Dan, where they had to decide by X date. You never know. Maybe that was
Maybe
last
it
night or
just the
something. I
Code
don't
S
know.
players.
Yeah,
That's
that
true,
was
it
a
could've been
rumor
just
going
Code-
around,
Code
but,
S.
but I don't think. Yeah, perhaps it was only Code S.
That would
Um,
okay. That would make sense.
Like the players that are already in the competition because they had to make sure that they have all the slots. If suddenly, for example, let's say Crazy started in the group yesterday and he knew from the beginning that he would probably not make it. He was the weakest player in there. So if he suddenly looks at this and is like, well, I'm not getting out of that group, but if I move to an A, then I have a chance. Then he could have done that. But Blizzard and also GOM needed to know who's playing. So I feel they asked probably the Code S players, maybe even the players that are already safe in Code A, and asked them, do you want to go to the US or to Europe, or do you want to play in Korea?
That's a good point.
Sasquatch messaged me. He said that Scarlett said that all the players chose 1 week ago in the Axiom house, at least.
Because that's where all that
so-
news broke out to begin with. Was
Yeah.
from
So
Axiom.
so I'm thinking maybe Axiom because it's foreign team, so they had to give him the choice or something like that. But I don't know, because as far as I know, Sage doesn't really know like much more than we do.
But-
He hasn't made a choice.
For
So
Axiom, it's also really important because of the roster for the GSTL. If like 3 players of them decide that they're not going to stay in Korea, then the entire GSTL season would fall apart for them.
but
like they
you
could-
can stay in Korea and play because it's online. You know.
That's
And
true.
That's what Koreans will do that do end up playing. They're just going to play online, and if they make it far enough, it's not going to be hard
Right.
to get out there. Whether I don't know, like if someone's already paying for those trips or what, but I mean, if you make top 16, some team is going to fly you out there if you don't have one, or if you do have one, obviously they're going to fly you out. So
Right.
they would all just play online anyways. Like I don't see any Koreans moving unless something like, for instance, with the Root Koreans, like you have a house, maybe then they want to do that, so they have a little bit better latency. They're awake at better times and stuff like that. Because the latency really isn't that bad between NA and Korea.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Like it depends, like where you are in NA or
Yeah,
I guess,
like if you're in
California.
California or something,
Yeah,
it seems
balls.
legit.
Yep, California is probably the best place.
Yeah.
What's also going to be really interesting, I mean, Katz, you already talked about that you were thinking of opening a team house now for Root, and I feel that probably a lot of the other teams will try to do the same or maybe make theirs bigger or relocate. And if you then have Koreans heading over, there could be a lot of partnerships where you suddenly have a lot better of a training environment, not only
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the Koreans who don't have to find their
It's
own
also
apartment,
true.
but also for the people that are already in the team house because they have better training partners.
Well, I think just
Well, yeah,
overall,
definitely.
everyone like globally is just going to get better because they actually have something to like outside of Korea.
yeah.
They have something
Yeah.
to play for
Yeah.
now, right? It's not just like
that's
MLG's
that's
coming up
actually
in a month.
my-
Let's train for that now. It's like
Well,
WCS
this is
is
what's
year
so
round.
beautiful.
Yeah,
This is guaranteed play. So
Right.
I mean, it really is going to help out so much. Like if Root gets a team house and a couple other guys get team houses in America, suddenly, and then they're really competing against each other. That's like fostering so much improvement.
Yes, exactly that. So that's the only scary part to me, and it might be a little bit selfish. But if we get 20 Koreans coming over to North America, then no one's. I mean,
Then everyone's fucked, right? Like it's
yeah.
just Koreans.
I mean, as far as the scene goes.
right.
So if you're a Korean watching, Europe is a really nice continent. No one's gonna pick Europe.
Yeah, no one will. So Caldor overall, though.
Regardless, I mean, I think here's my take on how that's going to go down, right? Because I really feel for the vast majority of top Koreans, and I know for a fact that the majority of like really high-end famous people, if they have a Korean sponsor, they need to play in the Korean leagues. That's just the way it is. So
Yeah.
it's like, I guess you could divide it up and be like, well, you can play in the team leagues here, but you're going to be on the North American side. But then it's like, well, GSL and OSL are pretty important. Like,
Yeah.
maybe not as important for the KESPA teams as Pro League, let's say. But I would think that it's going to be slightly lower level Koreans that end up playing in North America. And the thing is that those are going to look way more beatable than like, oh shit, Innovation is playing here. And that's going to actually,
it's gonna,
that's going to foster them to get even better, which is actually a good thing. Because like, if I'm Cats and I'm making a root house and I know that there's like 2 other team houses here and there's like a set of like 3 really great Koreans that we know the names of, and then like a lower tier that's still amazingly good, but we don't really know that much. I think that just makes the team train harder anyways, because they're like, well, it's time to actually get real because we actually have like this set tournament that we can play in over time.
Absolutely.
That's always going to be there. And I just think that's the best part of the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. It was so exciting for us just to hear the whole news. And like the idea, like coaches, like Sage is gonna kind of coach us in the team house if we're able to make it, and we're gonna train hard as fuck. So yeah, definitely. And next year, I think Blizzard mentioned something along the lines of less online play, which would be great. And then whoever wants to commit then has to move to the US.
Right. They also mentioned. Well, I'll let you
You'd
finish
have
your
to-
thought. Dan, let him finish his thought. We've been cutting him off a lot.
No, I'm just saying we can cut each other off. That's kind
Okay.
of my thing, anyways.
Dan, go ahead.
But no, I think it's fucking awesome, and I think it's gonna build a nice over time. Perhaps 5 or 6 years down the line, then we might have like some infrastructure of sorts. Like my plan with the team house is to move close to either EG or NASL or even Twitch or somewhere that we can start.
So that's like all West Coast then. Like that's all one spot.
Oh no, we're thinking California. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Because of the ping to Korea, because we want to get the best training possible. But yeah, I mean, the idea is that other teams in time, perhaps next year or the year after, like keep following, and maybe in 4 years we have fucking 4 teams in the same city, and all of a sudden we can have our own GSTL and practice even harder and work even harder.
And that's like a really good. Hey, shut up, JP. That's like a really important point. I think that like if this starts going really well, and more houses are formed. Realistically, if you're making a team house, look, I know there's a lot of things to consider about that. But realistically, everyone should be making it in California. And that's because, well, let's see. The Blizzard offices are out there. The NASL studio is out there. The ping is better to Korea. The internet overall is going to be of a higher quality.
Majority of press
all
out there
these
for
things
video
are like-
games is on the West Coast.
Yeah, like are you gonna put your pro gaming house in Kentucky where you like how is that going to help you? So if the American scene, like the American professional scene, settles, like let's say in California, right, in that little area that everyone's kind of in, like Anaheim, LA, that type of area, that would be, because then it's like becomes a little bit more like Seoul, where you can actually do more studio work and make a higher quality product.
And I think Morhaime said that like if it goes well this year, they want to make like a centralized location in North America and in Europe, where it's already kind of happened in Europe, where Cologne is kind of becoming this hub. But there's really nothing in North America right now. It's like
Yeah, it's
California
too
is the
big.
hub, but it's like, well, California is fucking massive. Like, you can't have
Yeah,
a
but,
hub like
like,
that.
Yeah, it's awesome because like Riot has already kind of set the pace on that. Like in the sense that you know it works. You know teams will move there. You know it's a worthwhile
Yeah.
investment.
Yep.
So and it generates so much everything. So yeah, I think it should happen, and I think it will happen.
Yep.
I'm
I
really
have a
excited
question for
it.
you, Cats.
Yeah.
Is that going to affect? I mean, a lot of the foreign teams that we have, everything that they do and how they make their money centers around streaming. Now suddenly there are leagues that really like need a lot of preparation, and also if you're in a team house, streaming is a lot more complicated than if you're in your own room, because if you commentate, I mean, you sing quite a lot, so if you're in the same room with a lot of other players, I guess that for some of them can be quite distracting. Do you think that it will, in a negative way, affect the streaming that we currently experience? That players will say, okay, I can't stream him anymore because my opponents will prepare too much, and I have now to perform on a regular basis, so I cannot just stop streaming for like 2 weeks and then turn it on again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's exactly what you said. I think we might see streaming stop for 2 weeks before a big tournament or something like that. But I don't think it will stop because we're used to it, and that's partly how the North American scene has developed, and partly why there is so many people that watch StarCraft.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what keeps it alive. So I don't think that will happen. And yeah, I mean,
I was just thinking because of EG, a lot of people have been saying that they think that one of the problems that EG has, amongst others, with their performance in Pro League, is that the players have all to stream a certain amount of hours per month, like most foreign teams do, and that the Koreans therefore can practice much better to play against them because all the Casper teams basically don't stream, and you can see that every Code S player that has his games coming up doesn't stream for weeks because he's like, well, it was fine as long as I didn't know my group. Now I know my group. I play against specific players. I train strategies. Now I can't stream anymore.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, even
good
Yu-Gi-Oh before we had a code before the last Code 8 qualifier, he was like didn't want to play against FXO Korea in the Clan War. He ended up playing in, like at the very last one CVZ matchup. But yeah, I can see that happening. I'm not sure, to be honest.
It's actually really complicated because, as you said, Katz, like the scene has evolved in such a way. Like, for instance, with EG, that is such a good way to monetize your team. You have a certain number of viewer minutes that you can actually sell to sponsors. Be like, these are the eyes that are going to be on the team, and not just that. By streaming, you're building the brand of every single person that streams. You gain some sort of following, and it becomes regular content, which I'm not even talking about ad revenue, which also helps to some extent, but like just that and throwing the sponsors on the stream and stuff. But it's completely true what Calder is saying, where it messes up the play. You can't actually practice as well or as efficiently, and people can check out what you're doing, and that messes it up. Like for instance, that is one of the problems with why EG wasn't doing as well, EGTL, where it's like anyone that streams, the Kespa players are definitely going to know exactly what the hell you're doing. So, and the bigger it becomes in America, the more that's going to, become a factor. It's like if let's say that I'm playing in North America, right, and I have a match against Root Leia coming up. I'm going to go through that stream like a crazy person. Or if I'm on a team, I'm going to make sure that someone in the team goes through, writes down every strategy, and just so that is going to make it like more difficult. That's going to be like a give and take type of scenario where do you give up that amount of branding, that amount of added fame and a little bit of extra money and stuff to try to get a better result. And then if it doesn't work, you're like, oh, shit. Like,
Right.
oh,
I think
missed
you
all
honestly
that.
start to see a separation in players that, like, it's like, well, one, do you want to do really good at tournaments or do you want to make money from ad revenue? Like, I don't think you can do both. I don't think it's
never,
possible.
It is the case for GSL and Pro League because you play one match at a time, but it's never been the case for the North American scene for playing in, MLG because no one's gonna study me if they don't know they're gonna be playing me in the first place.
That's
a good
true,
point,
but
yeah,
with the
the
new
tournament
format,
structure.
right?
Yeah.
The new
Yeah,
format's going to look more like GSL.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're a smart player, you're going to study who you're going up against. I have no question. And
Yeah.
thing is, if I'm going up against Katz, I know he streams a lot, man. Time to go through his VODs.
I think what might actually occur is that the players that make this money from ad revenue are either going to have to change what they do besides just playing and actually provide like premium content rather than just stream their games, or they don't play in these tournaments. Like I just it's not possible because of all the reasons you guys just listed. So maybe on one hand it's like, well, it's shitty, but the other hand it's like, well, maybe we'll actually get like premium content for some of these pros that are good entertainment and very charismatic and can provide stuff like that. Like Cats, for example, like very entertaining stream, but like if he wants to prep for a tournament, well, he's fucked because he streams every day for 7 or 8 hours, however much he streams.
Yeah,
So
would have to like stop for a couple weeks prior
Yeah.
to the tournament.
And
Exactly.
yeah, that's going to impact your viewer base. The numbers that you put in your deck that you send out to sponsors
Yep.
is now suddenly
But-
greatly decreased.
Well, no. Well, yes and no, but at the same time, like the exposure that you can get indirectly from this event is much greater than anything
Yeah.
we've had before.
probably,
So
yeah, for
Definitely.
sure.
It kind of
Oh,
makes
yeah.
up for it, but yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful problem to have, but it's,
yeah.
it's still a
Yeah,
problem.
it's still a problem
Yeah.
for sure. Well, Caldor, I mean, any kind of final thoughts? We're going to try to get some other people on. Sorry for your webcam not working. I think that's on my end. But any final
No,
thoughts
don't
about
worry
the
about it.
WCS? The
No,
announcement?
really, I'm actually very curious about the same thing as you. I want to hear what Moonglade has to say about the SEA region and what he thinks about it. So I'm just leaving it to you guys and gonna watch the rest of the show.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and keep up the good work over in Korea, man. We all love the YouTube content and all the casting and everything like that.
Love your call.
Thanks, guys.
It's a 6
See you
story
soon.
about the
Bye-bye.
sauna, too. Good work.
We'll see you later, Caldor.
Bye.
All right, so I'm going to go to the splash screen real quick. Cats, you're going to have to play secretary again. You got to boot Sir Thomas Killian from the call and add Moonglade.
He's not actually a knight.
Okay,
might
so I didn't say this because
Huh?
I just realized it, but yeah, I don't have Sky Premium or whatever you call it, so maybe that's why the camera wasn't showing.
I think only one
I
person.
actually think you guys called the wrong.
Yeah,
guy.
Cats is a bad secretary. Get out here, Caldor.
Okay, call him Moonglade.
All right, good.
Let's see if the camera works. If not, you might have to restart the call.
Maybe so. It
It's,
probably won't work.
Well, I think because JP has it, we get to do it anyways.
Yeah, only
Oh,
one
I'm
person
pretty
on the
sure.
call has to have it.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hello, Moonglade.
Hey.
Hey.
How's
How's
it going? Oh, we said
Good.
it at the same
It's
time.
going super well, man. How's it going
much
with you?
are
Did
you?
you catch
Like-
many fish?
I
Oh,
caught a few
nice.
fish, man. It was lots
Yeah.
of fun. Yeah, let them all go
Excellent.
there. Didn't-
Are fish in
Didn't kill any.
Australia like ridiculously big?
I guess it depends where you go. I caught one of us caught a stingray, which was pretty cool. It was kinda
What?
scary.
How did you catch a stingray?
Yeah,
Because
Oh,
you're in
it-
Australia, man.
yeah, man. They'll eat your bait, and they put up a good fight. It was nice and scary, swinging around its tail and shit. Yeah, it was lots of fun,
Moonblade
man.
is too awesome, man. Jesus, this is great.
Moonglade's the best.
Uh,
I don't know why your
Especially-
camera's not working. This is really frustrating.
Mine's not working.
Yeah, I think it's on my end, but it's fine. I can put up an image of you till it does start working. Regardless, though, let's talk about WCS. And I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but everyone's really interested to
Yeah.
hear kind of what you is probably, I guess, a representation, a good representation of the C scene, kind of feels about this announcement being left out of the 3 regions. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, obviously it's bad for us, bad for the C scene, but I kind of at the same time don't really blame them because our scene is a great deal smaller than NA and EU by far, and the skill base and player base is a lot smaller. I mean, we pretty much just have to. Well, I guess the easiest thing is to cling on to the NA scene and try and participate in as many as we can, but that's at the same time quite expensive unless we want to move and live in America through some
But-
means.
You can play online until a certain level, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we could do it online for sure.
Come
But
to our house, Andy.
oh, thanks, man. I might actually do that. But yeah, obviously we still have a bit of ping, so it's not too bad from Australia. Unfortunately I wasn't around. I was fishing for the actual announcement, but I kind of knew about all this beforehand.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's mostly going to be like what MLG and NASL and stuff like those tournaments where you get the real points from, right?
Well, the
From my
big
understanding.
three. I mean, there's this is going to be a lot to explain. I'm trying to think of the fastest way to explain something like
Probably-
this. But yes, all those other
MLGSA.
tournaments will have points for them, the ones that you just listed.
Yeah.
But MLG's
Yeah.
running North America and IEM's running Europe when it comes to the WCS tournaments.
Well, ESL is. IM is actually
yeah,
not
ESL, right.
ESL.
Yeah, not IM because that's yeah. Did I answer your question, Moonglade?
I think so. Yeah, but so most of it you can do online, which is good for us for sure.
Right.
But then again, you said next year it's going to be more offline sort of stuff, more focused around offline. So
Well,
then
that's what they said. We don't really know what that means. Like, I'm sure anything can happen
Well, I think
from now till then.
this scene has to like normalize. Like we have to
Exactly.
see, does everyone move to like California? Does everyone move to Germany or something like that? And I mean that's going to have to be spurred forward by having more offline events, but you have to do it like increment it so that people actually make the moves. It's not too sudden because then you screw everything up because there's not enough people playing it. But I think that from what I understand, they are over time. Like this is the start. Is these three regions, but over time they want to expand this. You know, they want to make this bigger. So I think if you just like everyone chills and plays in a region and does their best, and this gets bigger and bigger, we're gonna have other regions. It's like they're not gonna not do China and Taiwan. You know, it's like the C scene is definitely there, and you know they're. I mean, I think they're gonna just add more regions, just like there's more regions
That's a
in
good point.
StarCraft 2.
They could just add more regions, yeah. Because China, I would think, is like something that they want to add, right? Because that's just going to give them so much more
much.
global presence when it comes to anything.
Yeah. Like, where is China supposed to play? Their ping to everything is terrible, and the Korea thing is not online, so like they just
They're kinda
can't
screwed,
play.
yeah.
You know, I guess Sen will play in North America. His ping isn't as bad, but it's still not the greatest. And
yeah, it's a
um,
tough one.
yeah, no, I really think over the next couple of years we're gonna have like a lot more different WCS areas, and it's just gonna be like a really global, worldwide thing.
Yeah, and it's
I
gonna
think-
be a pretty tough server. Come to think of it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of pros will move over there. I did hear that there might be a chance that Australia might get maybe one tournament that kind of has points to do with the whole one of the scenes that might help out.
That'd be good.
At least our players a bit, and obviously get talent from overseas for it. But I'm not sure. I think that might be an idea or a possibility in the future this year. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And probably, I guess we'll just give it a year, just let it stabilize and see where it takes us.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be a tough year for C players, I guess. Maybe we feel a little left out, but I don't think it's not really. I don't think we've really been wronged. I mean, we got a lot of growing to do, so yeah, just got to stay strong.
And you know what? The WCS last year was so awesome. Like, I loved having WCS in so many different countries, and like,
Yeah, it was amazing.
seeing the players that never get a chance on stage and stuff get to have that, and see the scenes come out and really support their local players. That was like fantastic. But is that something that long term you can monetize? Is that something that's not just a money sink? And I think this is like a middle ground where, like right now, can Australia really support having a bunch of WCS stuff all the time? It's hard to say. You know, it's
I wouldn't think so.
yeah. So you know, if everything kind of gets clumped together, then they can, as things do well, they can expand and be like, all right, well, you know, these three regions are killing it. Let's add a region and have 4 regions now. And then, wow, all 4 are doing it. This year, let's add 2 more regions. And suddenly we have almost the whole world already involved, you know, within the next couple of years.
WCS Africa. Easy.
It could happen, man. If
That'd be
there, I'm
awesome.
sure if there's a community, like that's one of the things that when I worked at MLG, Sundance always said, like, if there's a community, then people are going to support it, right? So I think like anything's possible as long as there's people to play. I think if Blizzard does not go to China with WCS in 2014, like that is a grave mistake. Like there's so much potential for everything there. Dan, you're probably the best person to talk about that just because you've always been a huge supporter of the Chinese scene and how big that market
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah,
Oh,
of course. They have so many people, man, and their players are good. There's like a lot of really good Chinese players. It would be so foolish, and I will be beyond surprised if in 2014 there's not at least one more region. Like they've got to expand to that, you know.
so in Rod's interview with Mike Morhaime, he said that he didn't, or they, sorry, Blizzard did not feel. Who's making the humming noises?
Not me.
It's not you, Dan. Do you hear those? It's probably your mic. Then.
Sorry, maybe it was me.
Yeah,
I might have been agreeing with something. I'm sorry.
let's just blame Artosis. He said they did not feel China's StarCraft 2 esports scene was mature enough to be included this year. So you can already see they're considering it, and that's kind of a good point. I mean, what is there aside from is it the Taiwanese league? Is that what Sen plays in?
Yeah, TESL. Like that is
There's
a
the Chinese-
mature scene. You know, that is Taiwan is for sure very mature. Like they have multiple pro teams with houses. It's really, really legit there. And you know, the StarCraft scene isn't as big as the other scenes in China, but somewhere logistically speaking, how would they be able to do this in China? Like the thing is, they're trying to make content. Can you name an English caster in China? Because I can't. You know,
That's
it's
true.
what
Maybe that's a good move
How
for-
would you start that right now?
Maybe get a caster to move over there, man. Start something.
Maybe. I mean, that could
That's a
be something
fucking
in
ton
the
of
future.
work, but it could
They
definitely
had
be
this
something.
trailer that looked so nice. Where it
Yeah,
was
that
like-
was beautiful.
Yeah,
What was that, Cats?
it was a trailer for the Chinese league, and it looked fucking awesome.
Oh, I
It
never.
was like the best one I've ever seen.
Is that? I never saw that.
Yeah, it was solid. It was really good. It was on like Reddit or something, but no, it seemed like it. I think I saw it on, but it was really nice. I mean, they do have people watching StarCraft over there. It's just it's not as big as the other games, and I think they're right in a certain way. I don't think it's a super stable scene. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what their normal numbers are like all the time or anything like that, but that's definitely like StarCraft has to expand over there a bit more.
It does, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're good too.
yeah,
The
there's
Chinese?
some good players, man. They've done well in some different team leagues and stuff that I've seen recently, and
Yeah, they beat EG
Yeah.
and almost beat Quantic. Like Hyun,
Yeah.
they took
Yeah.
Hyun once.
that was
Some Jimmy
a
guy.
fantastic cast by Rotterdam and Bitterman.
Yep.
Just
Yeah, I
yelling
remember
about
that.
Jim the whole time.
Yeah.
So, Moonglade, we've kind of just bombarded you with the C questions. Overall, do you have any other concerns with the announcement, or is it just overall happiness that Blizzard's finally stepping in?
I think it's a great step forward. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it this year. I'll find a way to participate well in it and do it probably from the NA scene. But I think overall it's a good thing. Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Well, some of the other stuff
100%.
that's come out of this announcement, and I don't actually know. I might be a bad judge of character with this. Speaking on NASL and DreamHack not being a part of this official whatever you can press conference or whatever in Korea, Robert Olin's been having some tweets. I guess might be the best way to say that, but I don't know if he's upset that he wasn't included on there, or if they're passive aggressive, or if he's well, we're not included in the announcement, but we are doing stuff with them moving forward. I think that was a tweet that he said. Have you guys been following that at all?
No, but I,
I
would
think
be
I know what
disappointed
you
being
mean,
either one of them. I mean,
DreamHack is pretty awesome. You know,
Yeah.
I think it kind of shocked everyone that they weren't announced as if
well,
they
the thing
don't
is-
get included somewhat heavily in WCS, that's kind of shocking, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's the DreamHacks might turn into something better
Exactly.
than what they were, because if they're the only super big legit organization that isn't doing WCS, that means that everyone still goes to that, and
Yeah.
maybe more people do because there's less things like MLG or IPL for people to fly to, so they have a bigger travel budget, and suddenly maybe, I'm just taking a guess here, DreamHack becomes this godly thing where you're oh yeah, all the good players from all the regions are going to hit this DreamHack, you know? So
Yeah. There was
that could happen.
Good point.
There was a tweet from Apollo. Said Blizzard said that DreamHack will have a special place this year coming from I can't even pronounce. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, so you can just read that on screen. More details soon. It was retweeted by Robert Olin. So, I mean, is it out of this world to consider that, ESL's running the tournament like online, but maybe DreamHack does the European finals again, or one of the regional events?
It could be that. I mean,
I
the
mean,
European
they knocked
finals
it out of
for
the park
WCS
last year.
was-
Yeah,
It
They
could very
did.
well
They
be.
did. And
I mean, they did
at the
say ESL and not IM.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I would imagine if because ESL is all studio work, really, right? And, well, I
Right.
guess they do some lands, but like if ESL was to do like the big offline thing, then I mean I'm sure they would use IM in the Carmack crew, because they do put together a very nice event as well. But it's so far the production hasn't been to the level of what WCS Europe was, so it could be something like that. That would make sense.
Wait, ESL and IM are linked together, right? That's
Yeah.
They're the same
Okay.
thing, but IEM
Right,
is their
that's-
events. ESL is the production company. I
right, but
think
it's
behind
like
that.
it's not so much a choice as it is. It's like, oh, we're hosting an event. Here's IM.
Right.
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 It's yeah. Okay.
I think so. I hope I answered that
Well,
correctly.
not exactly. Like, IM is a different branch. Like, it's because it's like it's made for Intel and it's like
Yeah.
a series of tournaments, and
The best-
it is owned by ESL.
The best
but
way
it's,
is
like,
IEM is a
little bit
product
different.
of ESL. Adabisi said it the best way. Like IEM's a product of ESL.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
Because Turtle Entertainment's the overarching company that runs everything.
Yeah.
So ESL is a part of Turtle Entertainment, which started IEM. I hope I got that right. I hope that's easy to understand.
There you go.
And then, IEM's run by Skynet or some crazy bullshit like that. Someone from the chat. The other concern is NASL. Like, where do they fit into this? Because I'm sure that Blizzard's not going to let NASL run a North American event when they have MLG doing all the online stuff, right? That just seems kind of crazy to me. Because MLG's been doing much larger events for a longer time. Like, where does NASL fit into this? If they're not doing the online portion, which to me, I think NASL has a bigger online presence than MLG because they've been running all their tournaments online. And I would think that why didn't they just do it like that, how they're doing it in potentially in Europe with DreamHack possibly running the final and ESL doing the online
Well,
portion.
MLG does well.
They just started doing
don't know,
content
man.
online, Like just this
Yeah,
year.
I would
did.
agree with that. I would say NASL has a lot more experience with that, and NASL is in California as well.
Exactly.
So what are
Yeah,
the
that's-
reasons?
that is true.
I was really surprised by that because, like, you always hear that the NASL crew, Bitter and Rotterdam and Froda and all them are going and doing stuff at Blizzard. Like, they're always tweeting stuff like that, right? And then for them
Yeah.
to not be a part of this,
I think they're going to have to be in some way. And in fact, take a look at this. This is actually kind of interesting, right? Like Blizzard's trying to make this unbelievably awesome product out of StarCraft 2, like a year-long league or an almost year-long league, and just the different regions, the constant programming, lining it all up, and a part of that is going to be the casters, right? And that's why they want it studio work, make it really high production. Have solid casters there all the time. So, I mean, you look at Europe and it's like, okay, Apollo's over there, he's in Sweden, but you have Kalaris in Germany. Like, who's going to end up doing it? It's hard to say.
Right.
But, I mean, I would be unbelievably surprised if Kalaris and Apollo weren't both involved in that in some way.
that's true, yeah.
I would say that they're the best out there right now, for sure. And then, obviously, in Korea, we already know our crew. It's the GSL crew. It's solid. We live here. It's going to be good. And then you look at the MLG studios in New York, and there's only two casters in New York, which is Axelav and Axeltoss. So
Right.
you got to wonder, because it's like, well, Day9's the most famous guy over there, right? And then you have, like, I guess there's way more casters in California, and there is the NASL studio in California. So it's like,
And it's like right
There's only two
down the
casters on the
street
East Coast,
from Blizzard.
right?
So
I
don't
mean,
know.
I would guess that Day9 and Husky would be a part of it. No
you
matter
would
what.
think so, right?
you would think so after the
But-
launch
but-
party for sure, yeah.
Like, I'm
does
sure
that
MLG
mean
would
that-
hire them, and they're free agents, and they're in North America. So
But
like-
I don't. Would they move to?
Yeah, they would have to
California
live in
to-
New York.
I don't
to
think
do
they
that.
have to, because you're casting the online events online, I mean, it would be higher
it's-
production. and it
It's
would
gonna
be
look
great.
like
supposed to
shit
be
though if you use
studio work.
Skype. Yeah, if you use
no,
Skype
there's
to
no way they'll do it.
compared to like what
There's
happened
no-
last night with the GSL, it's gonna look like a complete dog shit production.
no.
So-
and that's what they don't want. So it has to be studio work. So does
Yeah,
that
so-
mean that?
So I'm guessing it will be Axelaf and Axel Toss casting up and up leading up to the finals, which is I think it's only like online. It's only like up to top 32, and then the finals are offline, like at like the top 16 and up. And for
Right.
that, it will be like sort of whichever casters are
Like
invited
the
to MLG.
bigger event thing, like maybe
Right.
have Axel Toss, Axlab plus Day9 plus Husky, and maybe
Plus
Bitter
you.
Rotterdam. something
Yeah,
like that.
You know, the chat's bringing up a good
Jason
point.
Steven.
There's always something. I mean, there's always the IPL crew, like where maybe they're
That's,
Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin
that's
just
true.
announced that he got a job recently. He signed
Oh,
a
right.
contract.
that's true.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Interesting.
Yeah,
There's
I
been
think
rumors
it's
coming
definitely
around
a
that
good-
they've been wanting something is going to work with those two groups. So,
Yep.
but
I think
how
that's
weird?
the-
Hold on.
But
How
you
weird
know
would
what?
this be if
Here's
an
what's-
XIPL is doing a production for Blizzard on MLG's channel? Like, that's kind of interesting. If that's how it's going to be
Yeah, that
done.
would be. Here's actually I have a slight issue because, I'm kind of agreeing with what you're saying, Katz, but the amount of content that should be broadcast from North America, can Axlab and Axel Toss actually do all of that?
Probably not.
Because I know,
Well,
like, the amount of content from GSL, like, me and Nick would die if we had to do everything, you know?
Yeah, so I'm
Like,
guessing the IPL crew will come in and help. It has to, yeah.
But where will they help?
yeah,
Are
where would
gonna
they
go
help?
to-
Right? Two
how does
studios,
that-
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, maybe MLG Studios or their own studio. Maybe they will alternate or something like that. Maybe they'll work at Blizzard, or they're already in California anyways.
I don't know.
I mean, a studio isn't that hard to put together, really, or expensive.
I mean, it's pretty expensive. I mean, it's not just
it
like, hey
is-
guys, let's
it's
start
actually-
a studio.
Actually, the GOM studio is worth like millions and millions of dollars.
So it's not like, hey guys, let's start a studio. Okay,
It's-
we'll do it
the
in your
Dom Studio
apartment.
is
Like,
also a venue, and it's like
Yeah.
huge production. This is for like a tournament leading up to another tournament.
Yeah, I guess like
if they don't
the
want like
MLG
an
studio
audience,
actually looks really nice, and that's just in like a room in their office. So
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's true.
And
like, they have a good
that's
TriCaster,
good.
and it's like, well, this looks, it looks legit. It looks good.
Yeah, exactly. Or the IPL room before. I mean, it's probably the shittiest looking out of all of them, but they did output a lot of content from there. And
they
it's
put out the
basically
most
just
content in North
tiny
America.
room.
Yeah, and they were using,
Yeah.
as far as I know, they were like using XSplit, and like the casters were the one that were switching scenes there. So like,
Yeah.
you can definitely do it on no budget, which is I think
Yeah.
what IPL was doing when it came to their online content. But I don't. Blizzard probably was not going to want whoever's running North America to do any show whatsoever. At least, even if it's 5 minutes of content, they don't want it to be done with XSplit from one PC with one person like calling the shot. They want like a
Yeah.
full-on TriCaster and like full-on production team and everything.
Well,
like that.
that's important. The production in these other areas has to be like really super legit, because otherwise, the GSL stuff's just going to look too good in comparison to OSL stuff. So.
Have they? But is the OSL stuff just going to look like it always does? In the sense that they're still
I
using
don't know
everything the
that.
same.
They did
They
Did you guys-
broadcasted yesterday.
Yeah, they
there
broadcasted,
There was a picture on Reddit. It was similar. I mean, they had 900 viewers. You guys had like, I don't know,
You got up to
I think they
30K.
just take our.
24,000 or 30K. Yeah.
Well, that was on Twitch. We also have the GOM stream.
Oh, so there's another
Oh,
stream?
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Super.
Wait, so how does that
Uh,
work if you buy a sub on Twitch? That unlocks VODs on Twitch, but if you buy a sub for more money on GSL, do you unlock the VODs there as well? Do you know how that works, Dan?
I don't think. Do we have for GOM TV for GSL? Do we have a sub on Twitch?
Yeah, you do.
I don't think we do.
for
I don't know.
for whatever the URL
'Cause
is
I
on
think-
Twitch, it's a $20 subscribe to the channel. And you get
Damn.
access to VODs in 1080p.
Maybe that just. You know what? That might just open like the Twitch VODs and the GOMTV.net VODs. Because the GOMTV.net VOD's way better than Twitch VODs. Oh
that
my
would
God.
take extra coding on Twitch,
subscribed
yeah.
to GSL. I wonder if that pays for it. Probably
Yeah, I don't
not.
know.
I don't know. Because before we had like a huge joint ticket, but I'm not sure actually what our tickets are. I didn't look
Adabisi
into it.
saying no, it's not connected. That they are
Aw.
separate. That's what the chat's saying.
Yeah.
And
So
that's,
that's
for
kinda shitty.
the GOM TV one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is kind of shitty.
That's for the
Oh.
GOM TV, Twitch, and like what? I wonder what happens to like yearly.
Hold on, I have a GOM.
Subscribers.
I have a GOM employee that's gonna tell us about the VOD thing.
Nice. Calling people
Hold on,
out.
let me.
You want we'll
I don't
cover
know how
some.
to do this. You
I
have
think-
to
I think
you have to
maybe-
give Chung.
I
you have
think
to
maybe
give
the
him a
subscribe
mod.
button shouldn't unlock.
Oh, you have
VODs
to give
on
him a mod.
Twitch.
Give me his name in
Should just,
chat.
like, better quality.
Type his name into the Skype call, and then I'll mod him. This is entertaining
Hold on.
content right here, guys.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Rod Scoop Breslau sent me something.
Now do this. Do Chung first because I actually want to know
Okay.
about the VOD things. I'm not sure.
All right. He is now modded in the chat and can freely talk.
Okay.
Now, this is the best content in the world. We're waiting from someone in chat to talk.
Hold on. Maybe I'll give you his Skype or something. How do I find
I
out what
can't
someone's
call him.
Skype
That will
is?
just completely screw everything.
No,
up.
I know he can't do a call, but if you have his Skype name, that can help, right?
He can talk now in chat.
Okay.
We're good.
Here we go.
First, he's introducing himself, being very cordial. I feel like what is it? It's like we're like commentators for like the royal wedding or something like that. This is happening. Everyone say hello.
Hello.
Chat is now the center of the show.
Hey Chung.
Hello, Gomchang.
The way that
This
VODs work.
Gom Chung,
Hold on,
I
hold
vouch
on.
for this guy.
The
He's-
way that
he's
VODs
legit,
work
man. Like,
is that you pay for $19.99 on Twitch if you would like to watch the VODs there.
Okay, so it's less
Oh,
organized.
okay.
It's not as
So-
enjoyable.
yeah, no, the GomTV.net is actually.
But is it
like,
$20
way
still on
super-
GomTV.net?
No, it's
I-
much more.
It's a lot more,
expensive.
right? Yeah.
But it's
You can purchase
But
a
it's-
subscription on our
Gear
site if you
service
want to
for
watch
that.
the VODs at our site. Okay.
Well, then also you have like you can download them for your
Right.
Apple device.
Our
and
site is
stuff
much
like
more
that.
organized and stuff, but of course more expensive. Okay. So
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, yeah.
Figured that out. God.
I
Right.
paid for the Gom site. I didn't mind.
Yeah, no, that's the best value in esports right there. The Gom site.
It's a lot easier. Like,
All right,
No,
GOM
it's-
employee, why don't you
it's
calm
worth
it
it.
down over there?
Yeah, that's the
I give
best
it my
deal.
back.
Oh.
EHQ, man. If you're bowling.
EHQ.
There you go. So Rod brings up some other
Yeah.
points. From what Blizzard says, NASL and DreamHack are now just treated and looked at the same way as Iron Squid, etc. They can continue to do as they please, but there's no WCS points, or rather a small amount of WCS points, whatever it may be. But they have to play by the new rules, which is you can't broadcast at the same time as LCS, whatever weekends and weekdays that happens to be. So for NASL, a show that was live 5 days of the week, that kind of, I mean, I guess you can't compete with like once MLG and IEM get rolling with their online content, right? You can't broadcast over their time. So unless they
but
can
how
fit
long
that
is that
in.
time going to be each day? Like, yeah, I guess that
I mean,
could be.
you guys ran for what, 5 hours last night? 6 hours last night?
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's a long broadcast each time with Codes. 5 best of threes takes a while. I wonder about that because I mean, NASL is always putting out like a lot of content all the time, especially when their season gets rolling. It's like so much you got to buy the ticket because you can't possibly catch it all live. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
I wonder how that's going to work out because you can't. I mean,
And you know,
I don't think that this is going to destroy them or something like because I think this is good for everyone because it's just the StarCraft is going to be better now, which is going to help their content as well. Especially when what I was talking about with DreamHack, like if DreamHack is the only big time event thing that everyone goes to, it's suddenly more special, right? Because it's not WCS and it's not divided by region, so it's fun to see those people play that.
right.
But maybe that's what NASL is going to be, the online equivalent. We're like, well, I want to see Koreans and Americans and Europeans all play in the same place or something.
I would like to see NASL
I don't know.
take a different approach, sort of. If you can't compete with what's going on, then maybe do something geared towards a team league or something like that.
They could do a team league, yeah. That's a good point.
Now that IPTL is gone.
Yeah.
Do
There's-
team leagues like? Let me ask you guys this: if there is a, okay, here's a good example. If the GSTL is on, and this would never obviously happen as well, the GSTL is on and Code S is on. Which one do you watch?
Wait, what? If
Code
what's
S.
on?
You'd watch Code
Code
S,
S.
right?
Code
So
S.
like,
But-
is there that much of a draw
Yeah.
to watch a team league?
If Pro League is on and Codes is on, I don't know what I watch.
I watch
I
KS.
like Pro League a lot more than
I I
than
think
PS3.
they're
Really?
going to stop that from overlapping too, though. I'm
Yeah, they
pretty
will.
sure.
But there's no
So-
overlapping at all.
yeah,
I don't think
know.
anymore.
No, I'm just saying that it's,
Right, it's
it's
just
not so
hypothetical.
much Team League or whatever, but the storylines in Pro League, they do a fantastic job of building team personality up and whatnot with
Yeah,
the little videos and
Yeah.
interviews and all that
So,
sort of shit.
Maybe
So
NASL
to me,
becomes
Pro
like a
League
team
is
league.
really
That's a good
interesting.
point.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, if they do it properly, I think they can do it. There's no need to overlap anything.
And it'd be international rather than
Yeah.
just
It was-
instead of.
You could have the EG North American players playing there, the ones that aren't over in
Exactly.
Korea, and that's interesting. Who knows
So-
if that'll actually
Could be good.
happen, but Dan, what's up?
Okay,
You look
um,
confused.
So I'm talking to Adebisi a little bit on Skype here, and he's saying that IM is still going to run the circuit. I'm not too surprised, and MLG is still going to run like the championship events and stuff, and all these should be like before. Which
Wait, what?
does this mean that we just have like way more StarCraft content because like everyone's still running their events and we have all this studio work now?
No,
Is that what's going on?
kind of.
Oh,
I,
he thinks that. He thinks that. Okay. Because
I would
Adebisi's
guess-
backpedaling. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Hold on, guys.
I'll
He's
report it live while
retracting
it
his
happens.
statement.
Well,
This has been a
GSL's
great
already doing the
show.
WCS stuff, so they've combined their stuff.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is like, yeah, that's like the GOM content. Like, we still have some other stuff like GSTL, but for the most part, it is WCS now. So,
I
like,
think-
we're
yeah.
not expanding the amount of stuff we're doing. It's just
Renamed
nailed
the
down.
league.
So I'm wondering with these other things, like, is it? I don't know. I don't know how
Like
that's going to
take
work.
MLG for example. They have like they had for the last MLG like this show matches, Heart of the Storm show matches / qualifiers. Instead of that, I think we'll have WCS
Yeah,
qualifiers
exactly.
leading up to the finals, and then we'll have something like DNA finals combined with MLG on the same event on the same week.
Have they said the order
that's
that
what
it's
I
going to go in? Like, where's the first finals happening of the three? Have they said?
Guacamole.
So it's happening in Guatemala.
Oh, the
Okay.
first. Oh, you mean the first like finals from the three regions meeting up?
Yeah. Is that
The
happening
first
in
one's
Korea?
in Korea.
It is?
Yeah, first one. Yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe middle of June or something.
So that means Anaheim's not going to... So it's probably going to be like their third or fourth event for the final one. Because I would think that they're not going to do like Korea, Europe, North America. It's probably going to be like Korea, North America, Europe, then North America finals for BlizzCon.
No, it goes.
Have they said this, Dan?
I
Do you
believe
know?
the second one.
I don't
this
know. If,
isn't released.
I don't know if
Never
this is
mind.
released. Okay.
Anyways.
Whoa.
Grand finals at BlizzCon. I already leaked the first one's in Korea.
There you go.
That's all I'm
Tasteless
saying.
got peed on by a lion.
Oh, I stopped him at BC because I didn't want Dan to just have Morhaime come in and take his veggie pizza back, man. That would not be nice.
By the way, huge props to Michael Morhaime because this has been an ongoing problem. We get pizza all the time in the studio. I always ask them, please, just order one cheese. I only want like 2 slices. You know, I smell the pizza and like, I want to take part. I want to be a part of this. You know, I've sacrificed a lot going to Korea, but
Just,
I'm a vegetarian and I need a pizza without meat. And Michael Morhaime ordered a veggie pizza, not even a cheese pizza, a veggie pizza. Oh my God.
Papa John's has really good veggie pizza.
Yeah, no, it's.
Look at these
listen,
two
Works?
sellouts.
Did he
Dan
order the
sucking the
works?
tit of Blizzard.
This was
Cat's trying to get
fantastic. I was so.
Papa John's.
Did he order
such-
the works or did he order the Parmesan? What you call it?
Asiago? What?
Damn it! No, they have a spinach Parmesan
Ooh.
one.
Oh,
I
that
think
sounds
it's
just
chicken on it.
fantastic. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that
Does
or
sound
the
good.
works. The works is great. Papa John's.
Papa John's.
God damn it.
Cat's doing a new type of marketing. This is really interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
Really
Well,
aggressive.
here's what he's doing. So he got this inspiration from trying to get on role play. And then when that didn't happen, now he's like, guys, Papa John's, think
Cat's
about it.
just around dinner?
And let's go tweet him.
Yeah, and just like put it in the back of their heads,
There you go. There you go.
and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy." I'm like, "I'm that guy."
Who's that guy?
So awesome.
Oh god. WCS. What else is there? 720p. Fucking awesome. The fact that I can watch GSL now at 720p for free.
We have a 1080 too. If you
1080 if you sub.
they-
Yeah. That's
that's
that's if
pretty
you sub. But I mean, fucking like, I don't want to pay $20 for like the difference between 720 and 1080 is like negligible. Like, it's gonna look a little bit better.
Well, I guess it's the whole package. You get the VODs and stuff too, but
Yeah.
no, the 720 is like that's so sick that everything is gonna have that no matter what. Like,
Oh, you
it's
get
so
VODs.
nice
That's true.
to finally actually have HD at GOM TV. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
so nice.
I would honestly think that if they lowered the cost, people would buy it more to support it. Than the upgrade from 720 to 1080.
Right. That's true. So normally I take a break here, but I really don't feel like cutting this VOD up after this. So we're not going to do an ad break. And we'll just kind of lead in and use this transition to talk about GSL last night, which as the first kind of WCS to premiere in the new studio with everything new, it felt like I was watching like the best thing ever. Like the
It looks amazing.
I don't even know where to start because like everything looked incredible. Like stream quality was awesome. The studio / stadium looks awesome. The new Observer UI that they unveiled last night was fucking incredible. Like I can't wait to see.
it was
nice.
incredible.
I can't wait to see more
nice.
tournaments do that. I know Adabisi was messing around with it, but GSL beat you, man. You got bested last night because the GSL
Bad luck, mate.
has an
I love the
awesome
spot
UI.
that the casters got to. That like sitting on the balcony or whatever it looks like.
Oh,
It looks awesome.
I
yeah.
can't even tell you how much more conducive this is to a good broadcast. Like, we have like our hot water machine up there, and we can really focus. There's nothing in our peripheral vision, which we always had at GOM. Like, people would walk by and like knock over something, would fall on Nick, or like people like go over near the camera, like like trying to get our attention while we're casting or something, or walk behind the camera and like smile and wave, and we're like, we're trying to say sentences. But
Yeah, I
it's really conducive to like a more concentration in the cast, which is so nice. And the studio, the camera
Didn't
shots
Caldor
don't
do a
actually
studio
justice.
tour, by the way?
I think he did, and like the control rooms that they have now, it looks like this is better than TV stations in America, man. Like this, I can't even believe. Like,
guys
I
could
knew
go to
GOM was
war,
doing
man.
Well, but this is amazing, man. It
When
is so
South
nice.
Korea and North Korea finally fight, it's going to go down in the GOM TV production room, man. It's going to be the war room. Where the fuck? Okay, here we
it
go.
could happen.
It could happen. Here's the tour. I'll show what this is going to look like. Well, it actually looks better on ground.
You noticed a lot more from your one night. Noticed a lot more people, a lot more viewers coming in from the from around the areas and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'm sure there'd be a lot more traffic.
this is such a good move for us. It's really going to help with GSL. Like, we're always going to have much bigger crowds.
And it looks like the studio.
production, the UI. It's
Sorry to interrupt.
it's actually 3 or 4 times bigger than our old studio. Just the part with the audience, like, it's
awesome.
insane.
I think
Yeah, it looks fucking beautiful.
the best part about the studio from kind of working so many events, it looks like it's very easy to change the studio into whatever you need it to
Yeah.
be. Like everything looks very movable except for obviously the big stage, which you don't want to really move, I'm sure. But like the side things where for Team League, weren't they taken out last night, Dan? Were those side areas not there? Because for Team League, they have
Actually,
like,
I didn't check. I'm not sure.
I don't think they were when you have a jib camera in there now, don't you?
Yeah, we have a jib camera.
Okay, yeah. I would think that with a jib in there, you can't have those in there just for space. But regardless, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
The cameras for the players looks like they're on IPTV controller, which means that it's not a dedicated cameraman anymore. It's someone controlling it from the actual room. These booths look sick. Like everything about it looks great.
Dude, it's so legit. And like, even for instance, we have this big roped off press area that's there so you can sit at the games and do your press stuff, and with a ton of seats. And there's another press room for interviews with players.
Really?
There's like,
Wow.
we have 2 press rooms, 2 press areas. It's like,
Wow.
I don't even.
Well,
It's
didn't
like
the press room
so
used to be like a
legitimate.
hall with a step and repeat behind it on the wall? That you guys used to do? At least on the Korean
press room we
stream.
had before was just a little room. Like, it was not.
Okay.
You'd see like the press guys like walk out their cameras, take pictures, and walk back and do it. But now they can like literally the tables that they sit at during the matches is out in the audience, like in the back corner. It's
Dan,
It's
are,
like
you,
just it's so professional. I was actually caught off guard. I'm like, oh my god, this is so good.
are you guys excited that finally the Korean stream doesn't have like a better looking setup than you guys do? It looks
Did
the
they
exact.
before?
I mean, I would think that the actual like the booth and everything looked a little bit better on the Korean stream that they used to use.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I don't.
But now it looks-
I
it
think
looks
we have,
super
like, the same
equivalent.
exact thing now.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same. I'm looking at a shot of it here now on Kaltor's YouTube.
Is that annoying? It looks like ridiculously close.
What do you mean?
What?
the two
the two
casters?
casting things?
Yeah.
No, it's not. You can't hear it because like the heads,
Well, the,
like
the,
Nick
the
and I use
stream
headsets.
can hear it. Like
Huh?
there was a point in the
Really?
game where
You
you
could?
guys like the NA camera missed a couple banelings going off on something, but
Oh,
then
and
you
you
heard the
hear it.
from the
Ah,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear
yeah.
that.
great hit.
Sometimes like they'll start screaming and we don't see anything happening on our screen. We're like, what is going on? Oh my god! But I don't think there's any way to actually fix that unless we went into a little booth and then that wouldn't look any good. So
Yeah.
screw it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Did Keldor take? I guess he didn't show the production room because then you're kind of showing the competitors what to
Oh,
do.
dude,
But
Oh god.
I think there were some shots of it. It looked incredible. Let's talk about this UI that was debuted last night, which I think is probably one of the best parts of the new GSL. Like,
yeah.
so clean,
The UI
so
was
awesome.
nice.
The numbers are bigger now on the production, whatever tabs up here on the left. The only thing is like maybe make the minerals and gas a little bit bigger, but that might be hard coded into the game. I'm not sure if you can change that. The text and
And I
everything
love
for
how
it.
it says, look how big the production is. Like
Yeah,
when
exactly.
you see production,
Yeah.
you are always going to know what you're looking at.
And it honestly looks like that's done via the TriCaster, not in game. Like the only things that are in game, I think, is the mini map, the resources, and this little window over here on the right. And then
The
obviously
little
the
window, I
Yeah.
fucking love that. I
Yeah,
think
that's
That's
awesome.
I
my
love it.
favorite part. Like with the kill count,
Yeah.
you know, it like gives you so much to talk about and so much to be like, you know, it's like exciting little storylines within the game.
Yeah.
You can talk about the fucking Colossus that has 32
shit.
kills without really.
so
Yeah.
I guess this is not breaking news, but John just tweeted, just to make clear, the UI was from Blizzard. He made a slight minor modification. Expect a new UI today at the GSTL. So I guess it's going to get better.
That's. I think
yeah.
it can too. Like if I could give one criticism above the mini map, all that stuff there, I would
Yeah.
rather see that in the top center. Yeah,
Maybe not top.
Because
I'd agree to that.
Mini
I
map
feel
in
like
top
that's
center?
too much of the left side of the screen is being used right there. Like it's just
What if
it's
they
a
do
little
like
bit
top right?
imbalanced.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
next to like the minerals and stuff.
Yeah,
like, have,
maybe,
like,
maybe.
names next to them too, man.
I think whatever they show tonight will probably be like way better than this because I think this is beautiful and I
love
love it and it's better than anything we've ever seen. But I think it can get way better than this still.
Do you guys
Yeah.
think that, we've been watching StarCraft for pretty much, 15 years now, I guess, since they just announced it was like 15 year,
15
whatever.
years, yeah.
But we've basically like everyone's trained their mind for however long they've watched it for the same UI, right, the entire time. Like, did you guys have a time of adjustment to where you were looking on the screen as an observer at all with like the new UI? Crickets?
No, because
I'm
as a
sorry.
player, I would see a problem. But as an observer, you're not missing anything important.
But you didn't have to like retrain your
minimap
mind on
something.
where to look or something like that. Like you weren't looking bottom center
Oh.
for what was selected
I
or
was a
anything
little
like
bit.
that.
But
It's a little different, like little different, but you still got top right, so you got all the information, basic information. Top left, you got useful information, and you got.
They
more
might
minerals
change that
stuff.
though. Like
Yeah, that's the thing. They might
Mini
change
map.
it.
they might give like I think I saw a screenshot of someone that was putting like one player's name, supply, and production tab on one side and the other player's on the other side or something too, which is kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if I like it as much, but
It could be
I don't know.
off-putting a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like things being lined up, so I can be like, okay, especially
like
mirrors.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a direct comparison as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Husky's saying you can change all the text, including minerals, minimap size, et cetera, et cetera. You can add pictures, logos, scores, everything. So I bet you
So sick.
we're circle jerking over this one, but I bet you the one that they premiere tonight on the GSTL is probably going to be like 10 times as sick.
I think you're right.
It'll probably be themed,
Especially with
branded.
John the translator being involved.
Exactly. Think about that
Yeah,
amount
he's
of
good.
awesomeness. I guess you guys want to talk about the matches last night. Moonglade, you were fishing, so you didn't see him, did you?
I watched the ZVZ just before
Oh
the first
god,
match.
that's CVZ.
That's ZVZ.
That's
It's
CVZ.
pretty one-sided. Rurer's
Yeah, it was.
six ZVZ, man. He's
Roro's
really
a
good.
fucking beast.
Did you guys laugh as
He's
hard
got
as I
that
did
shit
when the
figured out.
mutas met each other for the final fight? Because it was just like a really weird fight with no micro. And the mutas were just sitting there, like, who's gonna win? The numbers are bigger for this guy. It was
Well,
completely weird to watch.
Yeah, it was. You can kind of see where
Roro.
it's going. Roro's just like multitasked him to death, and the guy's like, "Well, I'm pretty fucked, so I'll try and fight him." Oh, I lost.
Yeah.
GG.
He way outplayed him. Like Crazy was pretty outclassed, and like I wasn't really that impressed with Creator, to be honest. I don't think he has like a super good grasp of Heart of the Storm yet.
Mm.
It's pretty brutal to say, but I felt like
I think
I
his,
don't know.
I don't know. His mistakes looked more like execution rather than knowledge.
I don't know when he was like not ever targeting Medivacs with the Nexus cannon, and there's not
I mean,
really that
that's-
much
that's-
else going on.
Yeah,
and,
but
like,
I mean that's all execution. I'm sure he knows he can target with the Nexus cannon.
yeah.
Right? It's just like it seemed like his mechanics were off that night. I don't know.
Maybe.
Creator's a
Maybe.
fucking beast. Usually.
Well, the fact that he went Nexus first multiple times against someone that only opens Reaper as well was a little bit off-putting.
yeah.
Because apparently that doesn't work. I haven't tested it, but now we all know. There's like just an answer, a yes/no question. Can you Nexus first against
No.
Terran? Well, you can coin flip it. Yeah, I guess you could.
What was the so the match after that? Creator Bomber the one where he's just like, all right,
Yeah,
I guess I'm just
Bomber,
gonna send all my SCVs and hope to God this kills.
yeah.
That was pretty. I didn't think he was gonna win. Was it the third map? No, the Star
Yeah.
Nation map where it's like you and Tasteless were both just like, well, I guess Creator's just gonna win here. Then Bomber like won somehow when
That was pretty close. Like that could have gone either way. That was weird though. He like all
That was
in
where he had
someone that was all
Colossus,
in.
right? Creator had his
before he got
Colossus
all
out?
in, he all in.
right,
It was
right.
like so weird.
That was a weird
And
series.
then all the Zelts were stuck behind Stalkers, and he like barely lost. And it's like, that. I wasn't a fan of that series really. That was like a little bit.
Yeah, Creator wasn't himself last night for sure.
I think the one that
tonight,
probably
or, I guess not tonight,
it's
but
Tuesday, isn't it? Is that when?
yeah,
it's...
next Tuesday's going to be like way better.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think the biggest match from last night, or at least the one that was probably the most talked about, thanks to Cats, was Crazy Creator. Was that Daybreak, where it was really, where they both did like the air bullshit annoying strategy, and the Zerg like went for the really boring stalled play where he's just going to expand and not do anything other than that, and defend against it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
Crazy
that.
didn't quite do it right. Like, I tell me if you guys agree, but I think in super late game you have to have swarm hosts. Like,
Yeah,
it's the
you have
only
to.
way to zone out
Yeah.
High Templars. It's the only way to
Absolutely.
hit cannons. It fucks up the AI of the Tempest and stuff, and it's
Yeah, I was
Absolutely.
tweeting at you guys like crazy, saying all that shit. I was
Yeah,
like
you're
going
going off,
crazy
dude.
with this shit.
Machine
Like,
gun tweeting.
no, it's Crazy had no idea really. You could like he just didn't make the right
the
stuff.
funny part is he knew that he knew like the concept because he made broodlords, and he wanted like the broodlords their job like he was trying to zone out the Templar,
Yeah.
which is the swarm host's job. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Someone
why,
says so
why,
much
why
about
would
that.
you? Yeah, why like broodlords have less range? He already has tempests and like a flying
Yeah.
army, so it was pretty silly. But yeah, you need mass swarm hosts, and
hmm
told that to Moonglade last week since he was complaining.
Yeah, did that
Yeah,
help you,
man.
Moonglade?
I seem
It
to recall
helped me.
telling you guys that like when the game was released or during the beta.
Well, it was like mass spores, mass swarms,
Okay.
some vipers and hybrids,
Okay.
and
Two
sit there.
states of the game ago, I closed out saying you were right, didn't I? I said
I don't.
because you said yeah, I did. I was like you.
I don't
said-
listen to you guys on the
I
show.
thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say 2 State of the Games ago. I said let's do a balance show. Then I wasn't invited on it.
That was one state of the game ago. Oh no, that too. Yeah,
It was 2 State of Games. Yeah. Sorry about
Yeah.
that, by the way. But
That was really weird, JP.
that was kind
that
of
was
weird.
weird. That was awkward. Jake.
Look, Cats pissed me off that week. All right, I didn't want to have it on the show. It would have been awkward.
Oh, shit.
So-
Better be good.
But yeah, like swarm hosts, I think that on split map situations, like say maps like Neutral, Daybreak, Zerg is completely better than Protoss. And on other maps, then you can't play that style too well. It's
Yeah, if it's a bigger map with a lot more
Like
places
Belshire or
to go,
something.
You can
Just get
still do
fucking-
like you can still do a similar style, except you have to like push with it and kind of commit to the one attack. Whereas on Daybreak or Nuclear, you just split it and send the Stormhost, and they will slowly kill the Protoss. Then the Protoss is forced to engage onto your static defense, so you can't be cost inefficient.
No, I've played against that a little bit. It's hard, man. Like getting that detection in there is so ridiculously hard.
Yeah, I like actually. It's not even about the detection. It's just that with the Stormhost toning up the Templars, the Vipers are always going to be cost efficient. If you have a shitload of static,
sucking shit over the spores, man, all the time.
yeah,
You just sit there and enjoy it.
yeah, you just like if you ever watch one of those games, just open the units lost tab, and the fucking Zerg will always be more cost efficient if they do it properly. It's amazing. It's like I talked about it with DRG, and DRG was like, yeah, like I've tried that and it's good, but I died to War Prism Harass.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you just make spines everywhere, you literally
Yeah.
don't need any army, and the spines
Does-
will always be going to be cost efficient against the sellers.
You know what this could mean? Like, if that's what he's having a hard time with, that means Symbol is going to be God mode. Like, that guy stops harassment late game. I've never seen anyone make as many crawlers as him. So, if he finds out about this style, who knows? Maybe his second GSL finals in a row.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I mean, again, the only problem is the whatever the map pool is going to be for Zerg at least, because otherwise, in a straight up engagement, there's no way a Zerg army beats a Protoss army. You need the static defense, and you need the Protoss to come to you.
Which is kind of a shitty situation.
Yeah, it's weird.
So,
This is getting a little bit off topic, but did you guys see Sanai against Sound from the GSTL?
yeah.
I didn't.
Was that
that was
game
the
so
CVT, right?
cool?
What
That
happened?
was
was
the
fucking
CVT.
big game, man. I was
That
so sad
was
in
so-
class, but it was
Dan,
really,
what happened? Don't
really-
just
He, well,
say
he should have won.
that was so cool. It was awesome. What the fuck happened in the match?
Just hyped
We know it was
so
cool. But
bad.
what the fuck happened?
It was like a kind of like a small, close map, and like there was quite a few Swarm hosts against Terran, and there was a lot of Widow Mines. He was using them to trigger the Widow Mines,
Okay.
Yeah.
and like he had enough of them, plus like a few Infestors and Baneling, Ling, Muta. And like this Swarm host never died. They just kept doing damage. And the thing is, they set off all the Widow Mines. If he had used his Overseers a bit better or something, I think for sure he would have won. But it was actual Swarm host play against Bio type play, and it was so cool.
It was really
bad.
cool.
Was that the one that I
I feel
messaged
like
you about,
it's
Moonglade?
very map specific.
They
It
can
was-
just
Yeah,
Swarm
that's
and you lose,
I
no?
felt like it only worked because those bases were so close
It's
that
very like two path map, so you can't just get dropped to shit or like
Yeah,
arm
yeah.
punches, that sort of stuff. I think on like Belcher Vestige or something, you ain't got a chance of using Swarm hosts like that.
now
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sure
no way
of
to
that.
split that map either. It's
Nah, it's
you have
just
to
a
like
drop
be
fest.
aggressive and try to kill Protoss as fast as possible.
But yeah, it was cool, man. I don't know if we'll ever see a game like that again, but if that's
I
what
liked it.
ZBT turned
If-
into, I would just
Because so
Everyone was
like against Terran, what I do is like Roach, Hydra, and Fester into Viper, and it's pretty decent. The only problem is again the mobility against Bio. But if it gets to the late game, like to the point where you're maxed, your army is usually cost efficient against pretty much anything if you control it properly. But if you can, are you guys still there? I heard
Yep.
a Skype
Yeah.
noise.
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
You're good.
If you can
Dan's
split
lagging
the
out, but
map
it's
in
all
the
good.
same way as you can against Protoss, and then you start adding Swarm hosts, you're also invincible. If in a split map scenario.
You're
My
bad.
Skype actually crashed. Can you like re-say that real quick?
Oh, I was just saying, like Hydra, Roach, Viper, and Fester is pretty cost efficient against Terran in straight up engagements, even against Bio. It's like almost it can beat any army, I think, aside from maybe Mass Air. And then if you take that as a base and you don't die to the drops, because that's the tough part because it's so immobile.
Yeah.
Then if you split the map, you can do the exact same thing as against Protoss, and there's no way the Terran wins either. In split maps again. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm a
It's
little
really
bit scared
interesting.
that I think the maps that can be split will rotate out eventually, because it just makes for really boring play. Like the first time we see a Zerg win against that, it will be like, holy shit, like he figured it out, it will be like fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
then it will kind of be like the new Broodlord Infestor, because it's a fucking long.
A lot more boring than
Game style,
Broodlord
yeah.
Infested too, man. A lot
Yeah,
more
well,
boring.
I don't know if a lot more boring, because Broodlord Infestor, you sit on your static defense and you're like, okay, come to me, and with this
Yeah.
style it's kind of you sit on your Storm host and they have to come to you. But,
yeah, that's true. It definitely it spurs them into action a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Well, we're going for about an hour and 40 minutes. Is there any?
Camera froze.
You're back. It's moving now. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, other than like WCS, everyone just kind of took a back seat for news and tournaments this week. Like, that's been the main focus.
Yeah, well, that's
as it
that
should
is
be.
like a pretty damn big announcement, you know.
Right,
It's-
right. I guess real quick, someone tipped me off to the fact that apparently GSTL tonight. Remember a couple episodes ago where I showed you guys GameHeart, that weird observer UI thing,
Yeah,
Dan?
yeah.
So apparently GSTL might be using that tonight. I didn't have multiple people tell me that, so I don't know if that's confirmed or not.
Huh.
Oh my god, and
That'd be
Moonglade's
interesting.
camera works finally at the very end of the show.
Really?
Timing.
Yeah, it just came on right now. You can do your
There he
shout outs
is.
now.
What's up, guys?
But if that's true, like, that's going to be awesome. Like, I cannot wait for GSTL tonight then to see how that works.
That shit is like the game hard stuff. I
Yeah.
think every tournament would have started using it if it didn't fucking say game hard, you know?
Well, I
in the
mean,
middle of everything.
I'm sure if,
But like,
I'm sure they're not just giving that to organizations, man. I'm sure you have to buy that, and when you buy it, that probably goes away. I would think.
I mean, you can use the game hard overlay thing, and
Right,
like
but-
there's maps where you can use it.
I'm sure GSL like contacted the guys and like said like,
Oh,
hey, we want to
probably,
use
yeah.
it. Yeah,
But
I
it's fucking awesome. Make
it's
sure
incredible.
you zoom out, way out, Dan, or whoever
It's
serves.
lag
Yeah.
the shit out of the
Dan's
game.
like, guys, I'm doing the
I don't think
observing
it
tonight.
lags.
I don't have anything to do with the observing of
Oh my god, it's so
GSTL.
fucking sick. That game hard stuff. I
The only
really
thing
love
with that,
game.
Cats, is it lags really, really bad because StarCraft's only like able to render so much of a screen before it starts going like shit.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like you saw that in the
Should be
video.
capped, though.
When he zoomed out like 3 times or something, the FPS started to drop a lot. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe GSL is like a 64 gig RAM PC or something that's not going to lag. Who knows? We'll have to see it tonight if they even use it. Again, that was a rumor, not confirmed or anything. So we'll just have to see if
Actually,
that is true. What's up? Actually, what?
Well, the computer that some of the computers that we use are like so expensive that I seem to recall they like bought a plane ticket and actually buckled it into the seat next to them when we went to IPL. Like,
Holy shit.
Oh, really?
So-
Wow.
they probably can do whatever they want. I don't know.
Well, shit, man.
It's pretty sweet.
It's pretty sick. That's a wow. Anything else? I don't think there's really much to. WCS is awesome. I think that's the summation of the show.
Yep.
Has there been something going on in NA with like DDoSing or something? Because I remember Stefano tweeting a lot about that recently.
Yeah.
That's
Some
more
drama.
just like finally becoming like the smart thing to do is not talk about that publicly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Oh, really?
yeah, because like,
Oh really?
well,
Fuck,
I mean, we can talk about. I don't care about talking about us, but like,
I don't know. It's something very foreign to me, so I find it interesting.
It's-
I didn't know anything
It's
about it.
just, those people obviously feed off of attention. So if
Exactly.
you just don't give any
Yeah,
attention,
it's a good point.
like
that's probably
Yeah,
the-
forget I said anything, guys.
Well, it's so easy to stop too. It's probably good that like Stefano's coming out and saying that because a lot of people are finally learning that as a streamer, if you're getting like more than 1,000 views, you can actually just get your IP address in about 5 seconds. Like Destiny had a post in that thread where he was like, "Let's take a look at like Gosu user." He's like, "All right, let's do this. Let's find Gosu user Skype. I'm going to use Google." And he said like within 4 minutes he found the Skype via some tweet. And like that's all you need to get someone's IP. So
yeah.
it's really, 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 really fucking easy. And it's good that people are finally starting to get like information about that. Some of the big streamers need to have like proxies and all that crap. It's definitely you need it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
standard. Yeah, everyone should get a proxy. And if you don't have a, if you can't change your IP upon requesting to
Right.
your internet service provider or whatever, you should probably get on a proxy right away.
Oh yeah.
Like if you stream at all, like don't wait for it to happen because then you're fucked.
I mean, most of the time you can just power. This is getting really nerdy, but most of the time you can just power cycle your modem, and it'll feed you a new IP if you wait long enough. Like you can force a new IP.
Yeah, you could always power cycle it.
Yeah, you always power cycle. I hate when people tell me to do that shit because it's like the number one tech fix. Like, well, you should power cycle your modem, man. That'll fix
Have you power
everything.
cycled it yet?
So dumb. I think that's the end of the show because I don't really have much else to talk about, and we've almost gone 2 hours. So let's do some shout out, Cats. Let's see what you can get Papa John sponsoring you. Here you go.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you to everyone that has been retweeting and supporting on the Reddit thread about the potential fundraiser to maybe start our team house in California. It's definitely pretty fucking expensive, and I mean, we'll talk to our current sponsors and whatnot, and to Papa John's. So, but we'll
love
still
cats.
probably need help.
So great.
Yeah. Thank you to our current sponsors, of course. That's Keyword, Aver Media, and Twitch. And yeah, thank you to you guys for awesome conversation, per usual, and the audience.
There you go. Dan, some shout outs.
Nice.
Shout out to Cats. He always makes me laugh. Shout out to Moonglade. He always makes me smile. Shout out to JP. No real reason. TT Esports, my sponsor, allows me to play a lot more, and that's what makes me happy. And shout out to GSL because they are killing it, man. It looks so good. I'm excited about all the WCS stuff, and I just think this is going to be a fucking great year for StarCraft. Like, really, and what I'm more excited about is next year, because if we can knock it out of the park, if everyone participates
Really, Dan?
and does their best.
It's April, and you're already saying, guys, next year it's going to be off the
thing
hook.
is, this year is going to be good, but imagine how better it can actually be once we actually get it going and find what's wrong and find what's right and improve upon it. Like, I'm excited about the building process over the next few years and where we can get StarCraft 2, because it's already like so solid and we're going to make it so much more solid. So I don't know if this is still a shout out. So anyways, I'm done.
Yeah, that was like Dan accepting a fucking award or
Inspirational.
something.
Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Artosis.
There you go. It's right below his webcam. Moonglade, some shout outs.
Well, first of all, sorry that I was late today. Fishing trip and all. Thanks for having me on again.
Like the
I wish I
shitty
knew.
excuse.
That's a fucking
That's
awesome
a pretty good
excuse, man.
excuse, man. So when you
I
say
was gone for
fishing,
like 4 days.
like how dangerous would you? Because like when I think fishing a trip, there's like no danger.
it was-
But in
it was-
Australia,
it
did
was
you like
pain.
die today? Did you almost die?
He caught a fucking stingray, so.
We were living on like a houseboat. We were going down this river, and we were just fishing all day and catching yabbies, like yabby pumping in the sand, getting live bait, and just being Aussies, man. It's good shit.
That sounds pretty sick, actually, man.
It was actually great. It was some old school buddies of mine. But anyway, thank you for having me on. Sorry I don't know too much more about that whole WCS stuff. Yeah, I
Nah,
got some
man, you're
catching
fine.
up to do.
You're good.
But obviously, yeah, C kind of got a bit excluded from it, which is understandable. So whatever. We'll still hang in there. But yeah, shout out to everyone that's watching. Follow me at MoongladeAU. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching.
Sick stuff. Dan, we doing same time next week? Do you got
Yeah,
anything going
yeah.
on?
Same time every week until DreamHack, when we got to do it on like a Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back next Thursday at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock EDT. I think I'm going to get like clocks or something somewhere on my stream so people stop asking me how many hours till state of the game. But other than that, we'll see you guys for the next show. It's been State of the Game. We're out. Peace. I got to draw this out till I play the song. And see you guys next week.
No pants clock over here, folks.
Gotta say is it's an honor to play you Teeler, and let's give the audience the show of a lifetime.
Oh.